Hey guys, it's me, here to read another session of Define Normal by Julianne Peters. So here we go. Chapter 20. My stomach hurt. At any moment, I was going to barf my Big Mac all over Karen's car. Swallowing down the rising bile, I glanced sideways at her. She didn't accuse me of lying. She just said, "We should tell him what's going on. Do you know where he is?" "No," I said. "Okay." She turned back to the road. "We'll try our regular channels." Don't try too hard, I thought. Tilly was waiting for us at the front door as we pulled in. She opened the screen wide and asked, smiling, "How is she?" Tilly and Karen exchanged looks. I saw Karen shake her head no before Tilly could suffocate me in a hug. I escaped to Yolanda's room. I wanted to go back to peer counseling. Don't ask me why. Maybe because of what Jazz had said. Even if I didn't give a damn about anything else, I did care about helping her. Then I remembered. Jazz was staying home the rest of the week to practice. It was It made the day ahead seem interminable, until Jazz brushed by me in the hall between second periods. "PC," she said without moving her lips. "PC." I glanced over my shoulder at her receding back. Oh, peer counseling. My spirits lifted. I guess she decided not to ditch after all. Jazz was already in her chair when I arrived. "Hey, Tone." She greeted me like nothing had happened. "Hey." I took my seat. "So did you finish working on the Polonaise?" I pulled out my PC notebook. "Hell no," she said. "I'll never get it right. It's my weakest piece. I just can't feel it, Here." She slapped her chest. In spite of all her makeup, her face glowed when she talked about her music. The glow extinguished, though, when she added, "Gregoire's gonna hate it. And me." Her head fell into her hands. "He'll probably give up on me," she mumbled. "He's the best teacher I've ever had. I'd do anything for Gregoire." "Anything?" She lifted her head, arched an eyebrow. "Anything," she added. "Ooh la la." We both cracked up. I asked, "Are you nervous about competing?" "No." Jazz scraped the nail polish off one thumb. "Yes." She stopped and looked at me. "It's a major competition." She scraped again. "My first one. If I can get a couple of competitions under my belt, I'll have a better chance of being accepted to Juilliard." In a sigh, she said, "It's my dream to go to Juilliard, to be a concert pianist." Her eyes narrowed. "Don't you dare tell anyone, especially my mother." I shot an evil grin at her. She threatened me with a fist. "Did I mention there's $1,000 prize?" "What?" My eyes popped out. "But the money doesn't matter. It's the experience that counts." "Then you can give the money to me," I said. She snorted. "What would you use it for?" Without thinking, I replied, "I'd buy my mom some flowers." Jazz blinked at me. "That's a lot of flowers." She leaned forward on her elbows and said, "Have you seen her? Talked to her?" Looking away, I mumbled, "Yeah, last night. Karen took me to the psycho ward." Jazz opened her mouth. I held up a hand. "You don't want to know." "I do if you want to talk about it." I didn't. I did. Oh, brother. Okay. I started babbling, telling Jazz all about the creepy feeling and the weirdo patient. I told her how my mom was all drugged up and acting like a zombie. Karen says once the antidepressant takes effect, which could be weeks or even months, she'll be human again. Karen knows because she's clinically depressed too. Jazz's jaw unhinged. "Your social worker's a mental case?" She shook her head. "You sure know how to pick 'em." I glared. "I didn't pick her. And it's not the mental condition. It's physical." Her eyes softened and she held up two fingers. "Just kidding, Tom. I know that." My throat caught. Jazz said suddenly, "Let's talk about something else. Could you believe lunch? What was that crap?" Ram called it maggot meatloaf. I chuckled. It reminded me that I saved a couple chocolate chip cookies from my lunch for her. As I handed them over, she stuffed one into her mouth and garbled, "Tone, you're a lifesaver." The period ended and we stood to leave. I was going to stay home the next couple of days to practice the putrid polonaise, Jazz rolled her eyes. "But if you want, I could ditch. You could come to fifth period Friday." "No, that's okay," she said. "You need all the practice you can get." "Hey." I grinned and left her there, hands on her hips. It made me feel warm inside, like maybe peer counseling was important to Jazz, like maybe I was helping her. Dr. DeLeo intercepted me on the way after school, falling into step beside me in the main hall. He said, "I heard about your mother, Antonio, and their foster home situation. I'm so sorry." We dodged the boys' track team jogging down the hall toward the gym. If there's anything I can do, if you still want out of the peer counseling program. No, I said quickly. It's fine. I'm fine. Dr. DeLeo frowned at me. If you ever need to talk, my door is always open. Thanks, I thought. You can shut it. I have someone to talk to. He squeezed my arm and walked away. I wished everyone would stop squeezing me. I might break. Instead of Louise, Karen was waiting for me to pick up after school. Something's happened, I thought. Something bad. I raced to the car. As I slid in the passenger side and slammed the door, I asked, "Is she all right?" "Who?" Karen frowned. "My mom." "Yes, she's fine. I'm sorry." Karen shook her head. "I didn't mean to scare you." With a sigh of relief, I strapped myself in. As Karen pulled away from the curb, she said, "I got your things." In the back seat were 6 to 8 grocery bags filled with clothes. "Thanks," I said. "Was the toilet flushed?" She looked at me funny. "Never mind. That was stupid." Karen said, "I think so. It didn't smell." Good, I thought. Then she said, "Found your father." My stomach cramped. Every muscle in my body tensed. But she didn't say anything else. I said it for her. "He's not coming for us, is he?" She exhaled audibly. Sounding mad, she said, "He isn't working right now. He doesn't have any way to support you." That must have been why the check stopped coming. Karen stopped at a red light and turned to face me. "Do you want to talk about it?" "What's to talk about?" I shrugged. "He left. He isn't coming back. I stopped expecting him a long time ago." My eyes held Karen's. Mom's the one who can't deal with it. She still thinks he's going to walk in the door any day now. That everything's going to be back to normal. Maybe you should talk to her. A horn honked behind us and Karen cursed under her breath. She gunned the motor and tore out. I had to add the last part, didn't I? Now I felt like crying again. That night, like every other, I shut myself in my room to do homework. Not my room. Yolanda's room. In the middle of recopying my math equations, my pencil broke. "Damn!" I cursed, threw the pencil across the room. Then I just burst into tears. What was wrong with me? I was as bad as Mom, which freaked me out. What if I caught her disease? What if I ended up like her? "This is all your fault," I fumed, staring at the ceiling. "Why'd you have to go? You knew how she was. Didn't you care? About her? About us?" "Apparently not," I answered for him. How many times had I been over this? It was useless. My wounds were healed. I didn't even miss him anymore. I wouldn't care at all that he was gone, except it left Mom with this gaping hole in her heart. She still loved him. She couldn't let go. The thought of her locked up in a psycho ward intensified my tears. They just kept coming. They were soaking my math paper and blurring my answers. Now I had to start over. Again. Damn! God, Tone, a chill voice in my head said. I took a deep breath. Oh. Finally gaining control, I opened Yolanda's desk to look for another pencil. In the side drawer, I noticed a tape recorder. Next to it were a bunch of cassette tapes. Most were old rock groups or Latina singers no one had ever heard of. One was this weird-looking Australian band called Sonic Boomerang. How stupid. I thought. I could use a good brain blast, though. I pulled out the recorder and loaded the tape. Sonic Boomerang wasn't bad. I turned up the volume. At least the noise was numbing enough to get me through my homework. There was a loud knock on the door. I panicked, punching the stop button. I thought, great, I bothered Tilly and Louise. Now they're going to kick me out. They should, I thought. I've been so ungrateful. "It's me, Antonia." Michael's voice penetrated the wood. My heart started again. "Come on in," I said. "Open the door," he hollered. Exasperated, I closed my algebra book and wrenched open the door. He stood there, a TV tray grasped in both hands. "Tilly sent you this." I let him in and told him to set the tray on the desk. There was a plate of cheese and crackers and a can of Dr. Pepper. How'd she know I loved Dr. Pepper? Also on the tray was a little vase with a daisy in it. Michael said, "She's a real nice lady, huh?" I glared at him. "Look, don't get comfortable here. As soon as Mom's better, we're going home." "You can," he said. "Michael, I like it here. I want to stay." "Sorry, that's not the way it works. We still have parents, Michael. One, anyway." I corrected myself. "We still have a home." He didn't look convinced. Maybe because I didn't sound convincing. Michael picked up my hairbrush and ran his index fingers along the bristles. "What if Mom doesn't come home?" he said. She will. She's better already. She's crazy, he said. She is not. She's crazy, and I don't care if I ever see her again. Michael, she's our mother. I don't care. I hate her, and I hope she never comes back. Never. Just like Dad. He flung a hairbrush across the room, then raced out, slamming the door behind him. I shut my eyes and hugged myself. What if he was right? The vision of Mom in the psych ward. I couldn't get it out of my head. It scared me. What if she never got better? What if... I banished the thought and wandered over to the window. It was dark out, ink black, billions of stars blinking overhead. That's how I feel, I thought, like a star. Not the kind everyone admires or adores. Not the kind with a fan club and a stack of autographed pictures to send out. A star in the sky, distant, detached, blinking, on, off, on, off. It was just me now, Antonia Renee Dillon. No family, no home. Chapter 21. I woke up Sunday morning thinking about Jazz. I had a dream about her, which was a welcome relief from the nightmares I'd been having about Mom. In the dream, Jazz won the Chopin competition and was awarded this giant gold trophy overflowing with money. It made me wonder if she wasn't sending me psychic vibes. I jumped up and rushed out to the living room. Tilly and Louise were reading the Sunday paper. Would it be okay if I used the phone? I asked. They didn't answer right away. They just exchanged uncertain glances. It's a local call, I assured them, in case they were worrying I might run up their phone bill. Louise said, Why don't you use the phone in the den? It'll be more private. He smiled at Tilly. Remember how long Yolanda used to talk on that phone? I thought it was going to grow right onto her ear. Tilly laughed. I won't tie it up long, I said. Tilly said, You talk as long as you want, honey. She reached out to touch me, but I recoiled. She might think she was Michael's or Chucky's mom, but she wasn't mine. Yet. I retrieved Jess's phone number from my backpack and closed myself in the den. After 3 rings, Mrs. Luther picked up. Hello, Mrs. Luther, I said. This is Antonia. Antonia, she cried. How nice to hear from you. How are you, dear? Okay, I lied. How are Michael and Chucky? Good, I said. Great. Can I talk to Jazz? There was a long pause. Mrs. Luther sighed and said, She can't come to the phone right now. Her voice had changed. She sounded mad. Or sad. Probably mad. No doubt Jazz was out late, celebrating with her friends. She's probably still in bed, dead to the world. I was just wondering to see how she did at the piano competition. Mrs. Luther didn't respond right away. I'll let her tell you, she finally said. Have you seen your mother? How is she? Good, I lied again. You tell Jazz I called? Tell her to call me when she gets up. Yes, I will, dear, she said in another sigh. You take care. Give your brothers a hug for me. Sure, I almost added. You'll have to stand in line. Jazz never called me back. I hung around downstairs all day waiting. It wasn't until that night that it struck me. She didn't have the Avietta's phone number. There's probably some stupid rule about giving out foster numbers. God, I hated rules. I hated it here. The next morning, after Louise dropped me off, I waited for Jazz by the front door. When I spotted her punk groupies rounding the corner of the science wing, I sprinted across the front lawn to catch her. Hey, Jazz, I said out of breath. How'd you do Saturday? She blinked. Like, what was Saturday? Her eyes darted nervously from side to side. Oops, I'd forgotten. Hey, it's someone from the Priss Patrol. The guy with spiked hair said. Quick, shields up. The other 2 people crossed their arms in front of their faces. You guys, Jess said. She yanked down the spiker's arms. One of the girls said, Catch the penny loafers. Those legs so over. Leave her alone, Jess sniped. Come on, let's go. She herded the group away. She said something in private, and everyone howled. My face flared. Over her shoulder, Jazz held up 2 fingers. With both hands, she spelled out PC. I didn't acknowledge the message. I just turned and marched back to the building, trying to swallow down the hurt and humiliation. Jazz was late. After 10 minutes passed, I wondered if I misread her message. I wondered if I misread Jazz Luther. The door opened, and she dragged in, yanking out a chair and slumping into it. Don't ask about the competition, she said. That shut my mouth fast. She must have lost. Mad as I was at her, I never wished her to lose. Sorry about this morning. She raised her head. They didn't mean anything by it. It wasn't personal. Just a game we played with them. Them? She cocked her head. You know, the jocks and straights and Jesus freaks. We left out Prisses. And Pris's. She dropped her head again. I thought you were into respecting everyone's individuality, I said. She raised her head and glared. My gaze lowered. I didn't want to fight with her. I called you Sunday morning to see how you did in the, you know. Yeah, I heard. Jess sat back and dug out a compact. Just so you know, I'm not allowed to have phone calls. I've been grounded for life. Why? I frowned. What happened? She clicked open the compact and examined her makeup. Did it have something to do with the piano competition? Oh, didn't I tell you? She snapped the compact closed. I quit the piano. Quit? My jaw bounced off my chest. You can't quit. Why? How? When did you quit? I sounded like a blithering idiot. In answer to your last question, she calculated on fingers. That would be Friday. Before the competition, my eyes widened. Why? What happened? My mouth was reeling. The vision materialized. The vision of a dress. Your mom insisted you wear the dress? Bingo. Jazz aimed a lethal fingernail at my face. What did Gregoire say? Didn't he? Oh, yeah, she broke in. I forgot to say. I fired Gregoire. He's a jerk. I gasped. Can you do that? What, call him a jerk? I sneered at her. What happened really? She exhaled wearily. Tossing her hair over her shoulder, she said, "We came over Friday to give me the program, to go through the music one more time. This was right after Mom and I got into it about the dress. Mama asked Gregoire what he thought. Like he cares what I wear." She stopped. Her face hardened. Gregoire said that, of course, I would have to look presentable. It was expected. You mean, that's exactly what I mean. She almost spit at me. He's a pretentious phony, just like my mother. So I told them if I had to dress all prissy to play in public, I wasn't going to play in public. In fact, I wasn't going to play in private either. All I could do was gape at her. A slow smile crept across Jazz's black lips. You should have seen my father cronk when my mom told him I was quitting the piano. Folding her arms, she slid back in her chair and added, "But I won." I found my voice. How do you figure? You didn't play. You lost the competition. Her eyes narrowed. I didn't lose. You didn't win, I said. She opened her mouth to retort when I cut her off. You don't have to quit the piano over this, do you? I mean, you made your point. I hate Gregoire, she muttered. Just find another teacher. You can't quit, Jazz. You're too good. What about your goal, your dream to go to Juilliard? She cocked her head at me. That's why they call it a dream, Tone. It'll never be reality. Chapter 22. Karen came by the Abietas that evening to check on us. We were fine. Great, according to Tilly and Louise. Such nice kids. They could stay here forever, Tilly told her. She hugged Chucky in her lap on the sofa. Next to her, Michael beamed. Next to him, Karen stared at me across the family room. I continued to read my book. Antonia, why don't you walk me out? She said, rising to her feet. I exhaled loudly and slapped my book closed. Totally rude. Don't ask me why I was taking it out on Karen. Because I was a horrible person. That's why. When we got to the car, she said, I stopped by the hospital today. Your mom's looking better. Have you called her? I shook my head. You can, if you want to go visit again. No, I said sharply. My eyes strayed down to the street. Karen squeezed the stiff hand at my side. Don't give up hope, she said softly. Hope, I thought. What was that? Jazz was right. Any dream I ever had of living a normal life with my own family in our own house was simply that, a dream. It seemed like the only thing I looked forward to anymore was peer counseling. I hurried to the conference room on Wednesday, because we had to clean out our lockers during homeroom. Jazz was already there. She didn't even notice me at the door, panting. She had her CD player out, earplugs in, eyes closed. Her fingers tapped on imaginary piano keys across the conference table. That's when it hit me. All those times she had her earplugs in. She'd been listening to classical music. Whatever piece she was playing must have ended because she stopped and inhaled deeply. As I slid into my chair, I clapped and cheered. Brava! Her eyes flew open. She yanked out the earplugs and said, Sorry, I was just... She started to shove the CD player into her pocket. No, wait! I reached over and laid my hand on hers. What were you playing? She shrugged. It was just a polonaise. Lifting the CD player, she added, This was the recording Gregoire made of me so I could listen to it at night and visualize. She shook her head. Putrid polonaise. I had it down perfect by Friday. Her shoulders sagged. You're still not playing, are you? Jess dropped the CD player into her pocket. Tell me more about the abominable Abietas. She propped her elbows on the table. Her eyes gleamed. They're not abominable. They're really nice. Michael and Chucky love it there. I think Chucky even stopped wetting the bed. What about you? I quit right after I spent the night with you. She whacked me. I know what you mean. I sighed heavily. It's all right. I stopped. No, it's not. It feels weird living there with them. Like we're just make like we're this make believe family in a make believe house, just making believe. Like Pleasantville, Jazz said. I frowned at her. The movie. Never mind. She waved it off. Do you feel like an outsider? Like you can't be yourself? Exactly, she said. I'm afraid to do anything there. It's not like home where you can throw your underwear on the floor and no one cares. Jazz gasped. You throw your underwear on the floor? My God, wait till this gets out. I sneered at her. She smirked and held up two fingers. I know, I said as an afterthought. I added, not that home was all that great. Even before Dad, I stopped short. Jazz held my eyes. Go on, she said. I shook my head. Never mind. Come on, Tom. Tell me about him. When did he die? I swallowed hard. She added quickly. You don't have to talk about it. Not if it still hurts. But maybe if you did. She let it dangle. I bit my lower lip. He isn't dead. What? She sat bolt upright. I thought you told me. I never told you that. I said he was gone. Her eyes darkened. You knew what I thought. I opened my mouth to argue, then shut it. She was right. I felt like a worm. I'm sorry, Jazz. I didn't mean to lie to you. It's just that I paused. You know how sometimes a lie gets started and it keeps going and going until you start to believe it yourself? Oh, lame excuse, Antonia. Or wish it were true? Jazz looked at me. No, I frowned at her. I don't wish my dad was dead. Jeez. Jazz blinked and dropped her head. I know what you mean about lies, she said. Sometimes they're even more believable than the truth. What did she mean by that? Before I could ask, she added, So what happened with your dad? Why'd he leave? Jazz, I don't really want to talk about him. I don't even want to think about him. You know how you figured out Gregoire's a jerk? I figured out my dad's a jerk and a half. Are your parents divorced then? Yes, but don't mention it to my mother. She still thinks he's just working late. My eyes welled with tears. I couldn't do this. I had to get out. It was all crashing down. Before I made it to the door, Jazz was there with her arms wrapped around me. Don't! I pushed her off. I want to help, she said. You can't, I almost screeched. You couldn't possibly understand. Your parents are perfect. She started to sneer, and stopped. Tone. I have to clean out my locker, I mumbled, wrenching open the door and hurrying out. I didn't want to see Jazz on Friday. I wanted to stay home sick, except I couldn't, since I didn't have a home. Just as I feared, the session started out the same way as Wednesdays. Jazz was already in the conference room, earplugs in place, fingers flying. This time, though, it was as if she were waiting for me. When I walked through the door, she ripped the earplugs off. She forgot to turn off the CD player. I could hear the music, a succession of lilting chords. It sounded like a folk dance. The Polonaise? She pointed. I pointed. She clicked off the player. A Bach minuet, she said. I was going to play it at the recital in May. She smiled. But it seemed forced. She looked different today. Her lipstick had faded to gray. In fact, her whole face looked gray. Same way I felt. Jazz, I said, why don't you just tell your parents you made a mistake? That you were kidding? No way. The fire in her eyes reignited. Then I'd be giving in. I want them to suffer. Suffer? I widened my eyes at her. Who's suffering? They are, she said. They're the ones who spent thousands of dollars on my lessons. They bought the baby grand. Without the little piano prodigy, they have absolutely nothing to brag about to their country club phonies. Oh, brother, I rolled my eyes. You think that's all they care about? I know it is. We locked eyes. Then at the same time, we both looked away. Parents, Jazz muttered. Yeah, I concurred. A tentative truce passed between us. I'm sorry about what I said the other day. I began. Don't apologize, Jazz said. I'm sure my parents do seem perfect to you. Yeah, well, I don't have to live with them. You got that right. Jazz grinned at me, looking more serious. She added, I didn't mean to imply that I could ever know how you feel, Tone. I just want you to know I'm here if you need to talk. A lump lodged in my throat. I managed a weak nod. God, Jazz raked her chipped fingernails through her ratty hair. This has been the worst week of my life. I'm so tense. Tell me about it, I said. She climbed onto the table and wound into her lotus position. Her index finger beckoned me to follow. Why not? I thought. It'd be better than baring my soul. A few minutes into droning our mantras, I felt surprisingly relaxed. With each Om, a wave of worry washed away from me, like waves on sand. I felt as if I were floating. That day like that day in the pool when Jazz held me up. Beside me, she said softly, "When did your dad leave?" Tension returned. Not all of it. I willed myself back to calm. 3 years ago, I answered. A couple months after Chucky was born. Jazz let out a long Om. She twisted to face me. Does he call you? No, I said. Never. Do you know where he is? I shook my head. Karen does, I guess. But he's not coming back for us, so who cares? I closed my eyes and said a silent Om. God, Jazz said. Did he even say goodbye when he left? Oh, sure. I opened my eyes and turned to face her. His exact words were, I'm leaving, Tone. Promise me to look after the boys. Your mother can't. She can't even look after herself. Jazz looked at me. Her eyes were sad. I smiled. To tell you the truth, I do miss him. I hardly remember him. At all? Her eyes widened. Well, one thing. I closed my eyes, turning away. I said, he's the only one who ever called me Tone. Alright, guys, that's it for me today. I hope you liked it. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff down below. And I will see you next time. Bye!